Okay, we're on Kuf Chaf Gimel Amud Beis. Um, 5 lines up from the bottom. 5 we left off. Right. So now we talk about this brisa of inheriting. You had a bechar taking pishnayim. Right. So we said that the brisa says that, let's say the guy dies today, and until they probate the will, it took him a month. Right, which they're lucky if it takes them that long. And in the interim, the accounts went up. Either real estate prices went up, or or anything of the sort. So, or the trees grew, which we'll see in tonight's Gemara. So there's two different types of ways that the price could go up. Either the people work on it, the kids work at it to get the prices up, or it just happens by itself. So the Brisa says,
Sorry, where
that
are we?
what? We're on Kuf Chav Gimel Amud Beis, 5 lines off from the bottom. Yeah. So the Brisa says that if it just happened naturally, then the Bechar takes double from whatever it is that grew. But if the kids put effort into it, then that's not the Yerusha from the father. That's the kids putting effort into it, so therefore he does not get a double chelik. So that's what we're holding. So now the Gemara is going to try and explain that part of the brisa. 5 lines off from the bottom. Let's say he left them over a para that was rented out. Muchkeres and muskeres are two different types of rentals, right? And he lent it to somebody else, or rented it to somebody else, or it was just grazing in the Efer, in the fields. For Yalda, and then it had a baby. So Bechar Natal Pishnayim. The Bechar can take from it Pishnayim. Right? Why? So because it just happened by itself. So Hashta Muchkeres Muscheres the Laber Shusa Demara de Tu Kaime Amrit Shakel. Right? So the Gemara asks Akasha, if you're saying that if it was rented out, that it's not even in the owner's rishus, not even the guy who died's rishus, you Amrit Shakel, you say that you're allowed to take, that the Bechar is allowed to take double. Raya ba'afar mibai. So somebody who's taking the if it's how do you call it? If it's grazing in the fields, then you need to tell you that it's pishnai, meaning if something that's in somebody else's property, because he rented it out, the Bechor still collects pishnayim for it. So then, for sure, if he has control of the animal and it just happens to be it just happened to have a baby, then of course the Bechor is going to get pishnayim. So what's the chiddush? So Hakav Mashmalon, the Muchkeres and Muskeres do me the Raya Be'efer. We're trying to say that Muchkeres and Muskeres is similar to Efer, Ma Raya Be'efer. Shvacha de Memelika Asi. So when it's grazing, it's a Shvacha de Memela. It comes by itself. Nobody did any work for it. For like a Chasri B'Mazayna, and it didn't cost any money. Meaning there was no the brothers did not lose any money or food from it, right? So there, and the Bechar gets the cave Pishnayim, so onto today's daf, Achlokeres and Muskeres. It's the same thing if it was leased out or rented out or both. Shvacha de Memela Ka'asi, that he only gets the shvach that comes by itself, the loy chasru b'mazayni, because it didn't cost the brothers anything. But if the brothers had to pay something for the animal's upkeep, then and Hanami, the brothers would only take their chelik, and they would not have to give a double chelik to the bechor, right? Meaning, so the basic rule is pretty straightforward. At least what the Gemara is saying now. Anything that comes without any expenses and the portfolio grows, the Bechor takes double. Because it happened by itself and it didn't cost the brothers anything. But anything that costs the brothers something, excuse me, then he does not get pishnayim. Meaning, and this is even if, let's say, the brother spent $100 and the improvement is $1,000. So we don't say that the Bechor gets a double portion of $900. No, he's out from the whole thing. As long as it was an expense that the brothers had, then he's out from the whole thing. All right. Now the Gemara is going to go that is really a machlokes. So money. Who's the sheet of this brisa that it says that we differentiate? So it's Rebbe. The Tanya ain't Bechor noitel pishnayim. A Bechor does not take double. B'shvach sheshovchu nechasim la'achar mitzvah. The Tanakama holds, obviously this is very clearly not like our brisa, that the Bechor does not take double on any improvements that happened after the death of their father. Only up until the death. Any improvements that come after that are not not for the double for the Bechor. The Rebbe says Omer Ani. So he says I say Bechor noitel pishnayim. A Bechor takes double. B'shvach sheshavchu nechasim la'achar mitzvah. Anything that happened by itself, any improvements that happened by itself, the Bechor takes it. Avaloi b'shvach sheshvichu yisaimim la'achar mitzvah. But not in the improvements that the yisaimim, meaning this Bechor's brothers, if they had to put money into this investment in order for the investment to grow, then the Bechor does not get pishnayim on that, and he gets the equal portion to everybody else. So clearly, our brisa is going according to Rebbe. Again, the Chachamim say you only get whatever it's worth. Whatever it's worth at death, that's when he gets double of. Anything after that, he does not get double. Fine.
Is this halacha of hishpichu yisaimim from Roi not being kamuchzik, or is it a separate halacha? In other words, can the Bechor himself mess himself up if he puts money into something and the other brothers don't? He'll lose out that pishnayim.
You're saying that pishnayim is independent?
Well, I don't know if it's the din Roi. So anything that the brothers do, any activity that helps raise the value after Mises Aviyim, then that's just Roi, not Muksuk. Then even if he does it himself, he's going to lose Pishnayim. He can mess himself up by putting money into something.
You mean if he puts his own money into it?
Yeah, he's going to mess up his Pishnayim.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have an answer?
He's saying if he fixes up the house afterwards, so the house went from $1 million to $2 million.
Right. He's going to mess up.
Is he looked at like a brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he looked at like a brother or not?
If it's from Roi, then yeah, he's going to mess himself up.
Yeah. So I guess maybe not. So maybe he shouldn't do it.
Right.
I wasn't sure. It wouldn't be a smart thing, right? Yeah. Anyways, okay. So that's the machlokes Rebbe and the Tanakama, right? Yeah. Okay. Somebody wants a parking spot. We can go over there too.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Sorry, but you have to go anywhere.
No, it's taking me right. Left.
No, it's not. Okay, anyways. So that's a machlokes Rabbanan and Rebbe. Yarshu shtar chayiv. But now we continue with different dinim. So let's say they yarshin the shtar chayiv, which means that the father was a lender, right? And they yarshin the debts. So Bechor noitel pishnayim, the Bechor takes double from that. Yotza aleim shtar chayiv. If it's shtar chayiv, though, meaning that the father owed money, then Bechor noisen pishnayim. Then the Bechor has to give a double portion. You hear what it's saying? Right? Meaning this is a big, Bachar always thinks that he gets double, and that's that, right? And but here he has to pay double, right? Now,
He has to pay double from his money, or he has to pay from his
no,
portion?
from the Yerusha.
So his double goes first.
Yes, but it has to be because this debt was part of the estate, right? So he can't go collecting double and not give up double. Meaning, if it happened later, so then that's not his problem. This is talking about when it came from the estate. So that gets subtracted from his double. Right? When you think about it, it makes sense, right? For him, Amar, any nice of
Is
any
that all
night.
it is?
How else?
Any chayv that is passed down from the father that the kids are chayv to pay, he gets pishnayim. He has to pay double, even if it is from his own money. No,
Why should it come from his own money?
as long as there's a chayv, that's part of the Yerusha.
No,
It's
meaning
a
it's
negative
talking
Yerusha,
about
but it's a Yerusha.
the Rashbam says it's talking about where they gave out all the money without any of the chayvas collected. Then a guy comes along and says, by the way, this estate owes me money. So now he has to give up double.
I don't understand any other way. It doesn't. Now that you explained it, but I was about to ask how does that work?
Yeah, that's the way the Rashbam says it, right? Because if it was before that, then avada, you split up everything and then you figure it out, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. If he says, I'm not giving you double, and I'm not taking double, Rishoy, meaning he could just say, I'm just not interested in this whole headache, and I'm just going to pass on my paying double, and I'm going to pass on my receiving double. All right? Now, depending, I guess, on how you crunch the numbers, that would be whether it's worth it for him to do this. Right?
How could it be ever a case of him losing?
Across the street. How could it be a case of him losing?
Yeah. Doesn't come from his pocket.
No, but it was all split. Now he has all the money in his bank, and all of a sudden, this guy comes and says, I have a loan.
But he already took it. He can't say, don't give me double. He already took the double.
No,
in that case.
Could, but he took the double. Let's say he took double, and the double got him $5, right? And now the debt is $1,000. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
That doesn't make. So his Yerusha was what?
An extra $5.
So everybody got $5 and he got $10.
Yes.
So all he has to pay back is the whole 10. He doesn't pay back more than $10.
He will not have to
if
pay.
The whole chayiv equals the whole Yerusha, then each person pays 5 and he pays his 10. It's never going to cost him more. It's only from the Yerusha. When's it ever going to cost him more?
No, you're right. There is a case like that. There is a case. He's got that long Rashbam. I have to find it in there. I think it's talking about if let's say the other brothers are ketanim. Yeah, that's the case, right? Let's say the other brothers are ketanim, Naftali, right? So you can't collect from a katan.
So they divided it all up. The katanim don't have to, so he has to cover the whole thing.
What?
So he has to cover the whole thing. So if he says, "Don't give me double," then you has to pay half.
Well, he could say he can waive his rights.
And the Baal Chayv loses on the katanim share.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly the case. Okay, so anyways, that's the brisa. So now the Gemara goes through their reasons. My tamayah the Rabbanon. Why the Rabbanon hold that any improvements after the guy dies don't count? Amar Kra, losses like pishnayim. You give him pishnayim. Matana karya rachmana. The Torah is calling pishnayim as a matana. Ma matana adamachi liyadei. Just like somebody can't give a gift unless he first gets the gift, right? Meaning, if you're getting shalach manas and you plan on re-gifting the shalach manas, so you can't re-gift it until you get the gift yourself, Av chelik b'chayra ad demachi le'od, the same thing. The chelik of the b'chor that's going to be a gift from the father, an extra portion, he can't give unless he can't receive it unless it's there when the father dies. If it comes after the father dies, how can you give it? The Rebbe says, Amar Kro Pishnayim. The pasuk says Pishnayim. Makish chelik b'chayr lechelik pashat. We make a hekesh between the chelik of a b'char to the chelik of a pashat of a regular son. Ma chelik pashat, just like the chelik of a pashat. Afagav the loy mata liyadei. Right, he gets the money even if it didn't yet come to his father's hands. Meaning a pashat, a pashat, um, a pashat gets his portion, and even if it comes after his father dies, the pashat gets. So the b'chara the same thing. So av chelik b'chara avagav delay matal yada. Even though it didn't reach his hands, he still gets double. Right. So that's basically the machlokes Chachamim and Rebbe. The Chachamim hold it's a matana. A matana can't be given until he actually has possession of it. So when the father dies, that's when it goes. That's when the bechor goes to the yeah. Then it goes p. That's when he gets the pishnai. But after that, it can't be a matana. And the other shita, the Rebbe holds no. It's the same way the brothers split the whole inheritance, even if the price goes up. So the pishnayim also goes like that. Okay, but Rabbana Nami Haksiv Pishnayim. The Rabbanon, it says Pishnayim. What are the Rabbanon going to do with that? Because that's the way Rebbe learned it. Ahu lemeis v'le echad mitzvah. That's that we can give the bechar on one boundary, meaning since the bechar gets an extra portion. So let's say the split. A guy has two fields next to each other. So they decide that they're going to split up the field, and they give the bechar the left side of the field, and then they tell him, okay, you're going to get double on the border, the field that borders it, but on the other side. So we're going to say that the bechar has the right to say, no, I want a double portion right next to each other, so I could have one continuous field as opposed to splitting up the bechar's fields. So that's what the Rabbanon hold. You're going to do a pishnayim. For Rebbe Nami, haksiv laseis loy. For Rebbe, what is Rebbe going to do with it? Is that it says that he has a present. How does he understand that? So who Shem Amar any night of any nicer? That's coming to tell us that the bechar has a right to say, I'm not taking and I am not giving. Rashoy, that he's allowed to do that. Fine. Okay, so that's the machlokes Rebbe and the Rabbanon. So Amar Rav Papa.
Is that din machlokes Rebbe and Rabbanon? That din I thought was L'kuli Alma.
Yeah, so but that's how that's how he's learning it.
Yeah, but wait, right? The Rabbanon just leaves off, and the Rabbanon, where do they learn it?
Yeah, the Rashbam says Laseis Loi. It gets into the drushes of Laseis Loi because he can learn out both from it. Why the Gemara doesn't continue this thought process, I don't know. All right. All right. I don't know why the Gemara Taka doesn't continue it. Yeah, fine. So Amar Papa says, Dikla the olive. If you have a palm tree and then it got stronger after the father died. Ara the Asik Sirtan, or you have land and it made and it grew junk or whatever it is. The Kuliyam Malay Pligi the Shakel. Everybody holds there's no machlokes that he could take it. Right? Because it happened by itself. Ki pligi, where's the machlokes? B'chafura b'hava shuchli. It's talking about where it was made out of. It was a chafura, which is some sort of grain. B'hava shivli, and then it became into shiboilus, into ears. So it didn't just expand. Something that was there before is something that was not there before is there now. Or another case is shleifafi b'hava tamri. or he had a date tree that was growing, but then they became into dates. I mean, first it was growing as a regular date tree, then actually started growing dates. Or shvacha de memela. One it's called. It happens with me, right?
Jeez, what's with the car? I saw him.
Good.
Bastard. See this person.
Oh, this seat. Yeah. Car just almost ran over a kid. Anyways, I'm sorry. Um, I'm being driven, if you noticed. Um, uh, anyway, so to Marsovar, it's a shvacha de memela because it happened by itself. So therefore, they get to the bechor gets pishnayim. But Marsovar ishtani, he says no. The meaning the rabbanon hold that's considered something different. If it just grew by itself, so then fine. But if not, then it's then um then if it's a new entity that wasn't there before, so then it doesn't count. Fine. Then the Bechor doesn't get it. Okay, so that's the basic machlokes. So Amar Rabba Bar on bottom line now. Amar Rabba Bar Chana Amar Abchia. Also Gedivri Rebbe. Whoever this is very interesting how the Gemara goes there. Also Gedivri Rebbe. If you do like Rebbe, that's fine. Also Gedivri Chachamim. If you do like the Chachamim, I say then you're also okay. Meaning this is almost like you whichever way you paskin, you're good. Yeah, on Talmud base. So what's the pshat? Either you go with one opinion or you go with the other opinion. So masapkale the masupik halacha Rebbe mechaverev v'lei mechaverov. Is the halacha like Rebbe from his chaverim over his chaverov? Meaning, do we paskin like Rebbe when he has a machlokes, but we don't paskin when he goes against the majority? Or is the halacha like Rebbe when he's chaylik with a das yachid, or even when he when he goes one on one, or even when he goes against many. So that's the machlokes. So B'meila, if he didn't know, he wasn't sure. So B'meila, whichever way you go, you go. Yeah. So Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rab, Aser lasas kedivrei Rebbe. It is aser to paskin like Rebbe. Why? Because he held that the halacha is like Rebbe only when he goes against one-on-one, but not when he goes against the group. Rebbe Nachman Didei, Rav Nachman himself says, mutter lasas kedivrei Rebbe. It's mutter to do like Rebbe, meaning he doesn't say you have to, but it's mutter. Because halacha Rebbe mechaveiroi v'afilu mechaveirov. The halacha is like Rebbe from at all times, whether he's going one-on-one or he's going against the majority. So Amar Rava, there's a lot of girsa issues with this. The Bach has his girsa, but we'll just go with the straight girsa. Amar Rava, also lasses kedivrei Rebbe. It's also to do like Rebbe. V'im also asi. But if you did do like Rebbe, so then it's okay. That's your classic rabbi thing. Okay, don't do it, but if you did it, fine. So that's what Rava's saying. Kasavar matin itmar. What it means is that we lean towards Rebbe, meaning we're not sure whether we paskin like Rebbe or not, but we lean towards Rebbe. So therefore, we should try and go like Rebbe. And I don't know if he needs to try to go like Rebbe or try to go like the other shita, but if he did it, then either way, then you're going to be okay. Fine. Tani Rav Nachman, Bishar Sifri de Beirav, and the other svarim of Beirav. So there's an interesting Rashbam over here. The Rashbam says that there was different. There's the Sifra and then the Sifri, and these are the other midrashim. Right. So Tani Rav Nachman, Bishar Sifri de Beirav, Bechol Asher Yimtzaloi. It says that you give the Bechar anything that is found to him. And it's coming to exclude improvements that were made after the death of their father. But shvach that did come, then he's allowed to then he does take it. So who's that? Umani Rebbe. That's clearly Rebbe, right? Meaning, if the Yarshim put work into it, this Bryce is saying, if the Yarshim put work into it, then the Bachar does not get Pishnayim. But if he doesn't put it, and it just happened with Mela, so then the Bachar does get Pishnayim. That's Shitas Rebbe. Rabbi Rachama, Bashar, Sifri Dvei Rav. Did I just skip? No, right. So Tani Rabbi Rachama, Bashar, Sifri Dvei Rav, Bechol Asher Yimtzaloi. Prat l'shvach sheshavchu nechasim la'achar mitzvah b'kol shekain shvach sheshvichu yarshin la'achar mitzvah the loy shakal umani rabbanani. So he had a little different version of this brisa, right? It says that the brisa says it's prat. The brisa is saying b'chol asher yimtzalei. The pasuk says b'chol asher yimtzalei, and it means prat to the shvach that the other brothers put into it. And it means, and if you're saying that he doesn't get pishnayim from that, then kol shekain shvach sheshvichu yarshin la'achar mitzvah. Then for sure, meaning if they actually had to put in work to it, then for sure the bechor doesn't get pishnayim from that. Fine. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel, ein bechor noitel pishnayim b'malva. A bechor does not take pishnayim on a loan. Right? Meaning, this is a little different than we said on Amud Aleph. On Amud Aleph, we said if there's a loan coming in, then the Bechor can get Pishnayim on it. Here, the Gemara is saying that you don't get it. So it's a shaila how exactly you go about learning it. But let's see how the Gemara says. The Gemara goes through it now. How we understand this. So Laman, who is this going according to? If it's going to the Rabbanon, Hashta Shvacha Deise Bereshuse Shvach. Meaning improvements that are in his reshus, meaning when the father dies, and then the money goes up. Amri Rabbanan loy shakel. If the Rabbanan say still, it only goes with whatever the accounts were worth when he dies. Any improvements after that does not go to the bechor. Malva mibai. So a loan, do you need to tell you? Of course, it's a loan he's not going to be able to collect. Ela Rebbe, so must be going according to Rebbe, who holds that improvements that happen by themselves are counted. But then when we learned in the Brisa, Yarshu Shtar Chayv. Let's say they inherited a Shtar Chayv, Bechar, Noitel Pishnayim, Bechar takes double on that. Bein B'malva, Bein B'ribis, whether it's in the actual loan or whether it's on the interest part of the loan. Money, so then who's that like? Loy Rebbe, Loy Rabbanon, it's not Rebbe, and it's not the Rabbanon. Yes.
Take
right.
This one. Let's take it this way.
So who is this brisa that says that a bechor does collects from the loan? I'm sorry, the bechor does not collect from loan. We don't know what it's like. If it's a rabbanon, it's pashut. If it's like Rebbe, then Rebbe would hold that he does collect from the loan. So when it's loylam the rabbanon, really, it's going according to rabbanon. The itzrich, and we need to say this din. Why? Sagadai the chamina malva kima did not get shtara, since the malva is holding on to the star. Command the gavyadam. It's as if it's collected. A star is looked at as if it's collected. Okay. Kamash Malon, so it comes to teach us not like that. That we don't look at a star as if it's collected. Sholchom mitam. They sent out from there, meaning from Eretz Yisrael. Bechar noitel pishnayim b'malva. The Bechar takes double from a loan. Avaloi beribis, but not beribis. That is the same Gemara, just a little different version. The first version was that the Bechar doesn't collect pishnayim from any. Now the Gemara is saying that he collects pishnayim on the loan part. He does not collect pishnayim on the ribis part. So Lamas is going according to Ilema the Rabbanon. If it's going according to Rabbanon, improvements that happen automatically, the Rabbanon said he can't take. Do we need a loan? Of course. Do we need to say that a loan he's not going to take? Ella, so must be going according to Rebbe. Well, the Rebbe is lie, and according to Rebbe, why shouldn't it be able to collect interest? But Tanya, obviously, we're talking about a loan to a guy because you're not allowed to take it just from a loan to a yid. But Tanya, Rebbe Yomer, Bechar Neitel Pishnayim Bein B'Malva Bein B'Ribbis. A Bechar takes Pishnayim, whether it's a Malva or whether it's whether it's the base loan or it's on the Ribbis. So again, we don't have who to go like, not like Rebbe, not like the Rabban. My answer is going according to Rabbanon. And we're going to say that the loan is as if it was already collected. So the Rabbanon normally hold that improvements that happen don't normally count and don't normally go to the Bechor. However, here we say that it does go to the Bechor because we hold that a loan is considered as if it's already yeah. Okay, we'll stop over there because the next sugya goes well down the Yomud. So it was a quiet oilam tonight, so we got it done quick. Unless the oilam's resting up for the kitzur at 10 o'clock. All right.